Appreciate your patience. Hope all is well today. Hope everybody's doing great. This Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all you love birds and love hopeful birds. Woo. Good to see everybody in the building today. Let's go ahead and get going. Thank you all for joining. Folks are gathering. First five in today is Miss Monifa Angle, number one. Woo, 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 woo. Number two in is Miss Valerie Benjamin. Woo, woo, woo. Number three in is Miss Desiree Wright this morning. God bless you. Number four in is Miss Kim DW. God bless you. And number five in is Miss Ernestine, Lady Ernestine Long. God bless you. Woman of God, those are our five in our waiting room chat today, or our waiting room for this broadcast. Instagram is coming in the building. Let me see. Miss Anthea, good morning. Ghana, good morning. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. I like that, girl. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. If this is a Wisdom Wednesday for you, go ahead, and if it's not, whatever it is, it's Name's Day. Get our roll call done. Let's get our roll call done, and we're going to get right into it today. Miss Shanice Graham, good morning to you. Miss Reagan Dennis, good morning to you. Denaya Richardson, good morning to you. Miss Kim again, good morning. Thank you for the tags. Miss Ebony Bailey, good morning to you. Elena Kelly, God bless you. Good morning to you. Lisa Taylor, good morning to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you, sissy. Miss Sherelle Meredith, God bless you. Good morning to you. Latanya, Neely, good morning to you. Janet Sanders, good morning to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Miss Valerie Benjamin, thank you for the tags. Miss Sherelle Meredith, thank you for the tags as well. Latasha Long, good morning to you. Mr. Jamal Henderson, that part you like that. Good morning to you, sir. Narissa Sanders, good morning. Mr. Russell Ledbetter, good morning to you. My mama's in the building. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Elise Taylor. And Miss Renee Steele, good morning to you. At work, so reply. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for, don't get caught. Now stay incognito at work. But thank you for your support. Miss April Butler, good morning to you. Elena Kelly, we are all loved by God. We are his beloved. That's right. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. That is right. That is right. Miss Nicole Richardson, good morning to you. The Mad Baker Treats, good morning to you. You ready to strike? I see those arrows. Sugar Williams, good morning to you. Dr. Ron Godbolt, good morning. Rufus Hobson III, good morning to you. Thank you for tagging April. Miss Anderson, good morning to you. Miss Ella, is that right? Good morning to you. Hump Day, Dr. Godbolt says. I know that's right. We're getting over the hump. Excuse me. Getting over the hump. All right, let's go. I think we got ourselves to a good place. Desiree, you joined us on Instagram as well. Good to see you. We got ourselves to a good place, so let's get it going. This is day 6, man. This is day 6 already. Day 6, of course, we're still in our series, People. We are learning and exercising our skills to master this people factor. And if you can't master it yet, you working to mastery in Jesus' name. But at least you gonna get a handle on it. And there is Miss Tramika. Miss Tramika, you be my Valentine today. Will you be my Valentine? Miss Joanne Russell, good morning to you. We are, let me get locked in. Let me follow here with one of these pages to follow along with everybody. Tell somebody to get on. They can do Valentine's Day later. Get on this morning. Yeah. Miss Hannah Parker, good morning to you. Miss Wileen, good morning to you. All right. Hey, Celeste, good morning to you. Father, give us the space, give us the capacity today, give us the room to receive, to embrace, to walk in what you are giving us to say and to hear today. We give you praise in advance in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, we're definitely in this series, of course, of people. And today I want to, of course, deal with this people factor, this people word, this people hump, this mountain called people. Because in everything we do, there will be a people factor. In everything you encounter, everything you will win, everything you will lose, everything you will experience, in some form or fashion, there will be a people factor. And if you're not good at navigating, and when I say navigating, I'm just saying know when to dip out, dip in, move around, go around, go up, over, go under, whatever you got to do to get around what could be a hindrance in the form of people. I think we'll always stay frustrated. And I think the thing that frustrates us about this people factor is most of the times the outcomes or the feelings are out of our control. It makes it hard for us to cope when we lose control. But we're getting tools. So today, because this is, first of all, a great day. Second of all, it's Valentine's Day. Hey, Shanika. Hey, Pastor Faye, God bless. Christina Lewis, good morning to you. Tina Daughter, good morning to you. We're going to, in honor of Valentine's Day, dedicate this day to love. And we're going to incorporate this love posture on this day that we celebrate love. Let me say this. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna say this today. I got a lot of ladies on here. Let me say this. Valentine's Day is not just for ladies. Let me go ahead and just put myself all out there in deep water. Y'all think y'all the only ones that are supposed to be. Valentine's Day is not, let me say this. Is this mic on? Let me sit right there. Valentine's Day is not just for ladies. Let me say that again. And I need my brothers to help me. Valentine's Day is not just for ladies. It is a day to celebrate love. And if you don't express in any kind of way, especially you have a significant person that you love, any kind of expression of your love, and you receive love selfishly, you got to check your love posture. Now, y'all got to listen to me. It's on him. He got to show me that he's supposed to be the one. Let me sip. Come on. Should that man express his love for you? Yes. But if you got love for him, don't let this day go by. Don't do it. Because if your response is, well, I don't need no gift to express my love. He know I love him. Then you don't need no gift for him to express his. You should know he love you. And y'all keep it moving together. If y'all want to do that, then do that. Okay. Men want to smile too. We get the warm and fuzzies. We love how it feels to feel loved as well. See, he ain't want an argument, so he ain't want to say it to you. He just been taking it. But I ain't scared. All right, let's go. I didn't got myself in trouble too much. On to the word. Let's get into the Bible. I want to come from Ephesians 4:31 today. I want to come in Ephesians 31 today. We're going to have the posture of love. I want you to make up in your mind today that your posture is going to be love. And there's nothing nobody, no person can do to you to take you out that posture. Don't worry about the week or the rest of the year. Just commit to this day for me. Let's just commit to this day. Ephesians 4:31 says this in the New Living Translation. It says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. But instead be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. That's a good word. That's a good touch, Chris. I see your little hearts. Look at you. Yeah. I say that again. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words. Well, they said they shouldn't have said that. They shouldn't have did that. I still ain't talking to them. I don't let that name come out your mouth around me. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Evil don't have to mean spooky demons, goblins, devil being present, horns. Evil is anything that is not like God or of God. Right? Anything that does not come from the right heart posture with ill intentions. It is just simply the opposite of godly. Y'all made evil mean too deep. It is simply the opposite of godly. If it ain't godly, it's evil. If it's worldly, it's of the father of the devil. And the reality is worldly stuff is worldly stuff. We just got to redefine what we call worldly. Because the church has used worldly and gone wild with it. When sometimes what we call worldly, it's just a way of the times. We call technology worldly when it's just progression. We call lights worldly when they ain't never cussed. They're a tool. Let's go. That's a whole nother subject as well. Instead, verse 32, be kind to each other. Well, he wasn't kind to me. Be kind to each other. They don't deserve my forgiveness. Be kind to each other. I ain't got nothing to say to them until they apologize. Be kind to each other. Kindness is not a twofold decision. It is a personal decision that has nothing to do with anybody else but ourselves. We choose to or we choose not to. Hey, Shinway. I'm in a good mood, Shinway. I'm tired, but I'm in a good mood. I am trying to push through. I've been pulled in 50,000 directions, and I'm tired, but I'm in a good headspace. So that's a good thing. My body's tired, but I'm in a good headspace. I'm grateful. I'm clear. I'm in a good place, and so that sometimes I get a little giddy. So y'all gonna have to deal with me today. Yeah, First Lady, that's good. The word says be kind. It didn't say be kind if. Right, that's so good. It didn't say if they're right, you can do it, or if they look at you right, if they speak to you, you speak back. Right? It says be kind to each other, tender-hearted, not hard-hearted, not without regard, not without sensitivity. Be tender-hearted, forgiving one another. Why? Not lose sight of this. This is going to be what's going to drive our conversation today. Not losing sight of this. Why should we do those things? Just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Can I break that down? Because he just did it for you. He's been kind to you even though you weren't kind at times. He was tenderhearted towards you even though you still hardened your heart toward him at times. Good morning, Pastor Jones. Paul says, be kind, which means we can do it if we want to. That's right. We have the ability to, Pastor. That's right. We got the ability. I just can't do that. Yes, you can. You don't want to. Tamika Bryan, good morning to you. This topic hits home for me because people do the most sometimes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I know it. And they make it hard. They make it hard, Tamika. I know it. They make it hard. They make it hard. But I'm telling you right now, that is the greatest display of godliness. To be good in spite of. Woo, Lord have mercy. That is the greatest display of agape. Agape says, I'm good to you. Agape love. That's 7 expressions of love. Agape, we just want phileo. But agape love says, I'm good to you, not because of your response or your action to me, but I'm good to you because God has been good to me. My goodness doesn't have anything to do with you. My goodness has everything to do with him. And if I walk in gratitude for his goodness, I give gratitude to you, not because you deserve my gratitude, but because it's my expression of my gratitude to my Father for being gracious to me. Lord, I'm teaching good already. And I'm saying this right here, that your graciousness has got to come from as a result of your relationship with him and not as a result of your relationship with people. Because a lot of us withhold our graciousness because we're looking at who we are in contact with or in fellowship with as relates to people. No. I keep a good posture towards you because my Father keeps a good posture towards me, and I don't deserve it. Let's just be real. We don't deserve his goodness. We don't deserve his mercy, but he gives it to us. We are a wretch undone, but he still wraps us in his righteousness. Are y'all still here? And so when we learn that thing, man, that sets you apart. That's why the Bible says, in this they will know that you are my disciples. Because nobody else on earth, Tamika, let me help you here. because I know it's hard. But let me help hear you, and in helping you, I'm going to help about 50 other people that are on this line. No other person in the universe, I say this with all boldness, can treat people well who treat them wrong except they have the love of God in them. You got wars across the world of religious people. You got different religions at war, wanting revenge, getting retaliation. Come on, somebody. Fighting and killing, and they doing it in the name of their God. It is only through Christ that you'll see such humility. That's why he says this is the thing that's going to separate you, because there are other religions that do good deeds. There are other religions that operate in faith. There are other religions that may do religious acts and have religious ceremonies. But the one thing that separates all other religions from the true God and through Jesus Christ is love. My father told me this years ago. You can see if something is from God by the manner in which they operate in love. I don't care what it is. If you've got somebody operating and they're calling themselves godly, but are hatred, that are tit for tat, that has this rage, that push suppression and all those other things, then that is not from Jesus. You got to understand that is the separator. That's why he says, by this people will know. You ain't got to tell them you saved. But if you can still be nice around foolishness, people will automatically know that's a believer right there. That is our distinguishing factor. That is the thing that sets us apart. There's a such thing in other areas of the world called holy wars. That's driven by stubbornness, hatred, control. Okay, let's go. It says be kind to each other, man. Be tenderhearted, forgiving one another. Why? Because God did it to you through Christ. We did it for you. So here's the lens I want us to look at love through today. Here's the lens I want us, this is going to be my topic for today. This is the lens I want you to look through love through when you deal with people. And if you can push this past today to the rest of this week or this month, or stretch yourself and make this a year that you think like this, how about this? This would be wonderful, that it changes your posture forever and you always look at love to people through this lens. That would be amazing. Just continue to repeat this to yourself. It used to be me. That's our focus for today. I want you to see love to others like through this lens. It used to be me. I'm not telling you to keep repeating that stuff to take you back to a bondage place. But I want you because sometimes when we've been wronged, because the wrong feels so wrong, we act like we ain't never been wrong. And in some way, what has happened to you in some way or form, it was you that was doing it to somebody else at some form or fashion. But sometimes we forget how mean we could be. Come on, how dogmatic we have been, how rough we've been with our words, how wrong we've been with our actions, how selfish we've been before. Come on, somebody. Come on. And if you look at what the breach is now, if you can just remember that at one time it was me and I wanted people to give me another chance. I didn't want the relationship to be over because of one mistake. I didn't want people to cut me off because of one wrong word I said that I tried to take back, but the damage was already done. If we can put ourselves in that position to realize it was only through the grace of God you was able to get it right. Give that same grace for somebody else, the opportunity to get right. Whether they get it right going forward or not is not up to you, but you've given them the grace to do it as it pertains to you. It used to be me. Come on, somebody. I use that all the time when I have to sit back and think about people's mistakes and how long it took them and sometimes we get frustrated. How many times I got to tell them this? How many times we got to go through this? How many times we got to have this same conversation? Okay, just think about how many times there are some things that you still ain't got yet that people are still having conversations with you about. There's still conversations in your prayer time that God is still having with you. He's still saying to you in your prayer time, when you going to do what I'm asking you to do? When you going to stop being slowful? How many years we going to have to wait for you to be obedient? There's things in your relationship. You may not think your breaches are bad as somebody else's, but if your partner or your significant other has had to repeat himself or herself and trying to get you to shift in different areas of your life more than once or twice, then it used to be you. Even if it ain't you right now, don't forget. Even if you didn't got yourself together, though, don't forget. Don't forget how it feels to struggle with a decision. Don't forget how it feels to feel God pulling but still want to stay in your sin for a while longer. Don't forget how it feels. Don't lose your sensitivity to that kind of struggle and pull. And find patience with people, encouraging them to continue in their shift and their change. I'm not saying to just ignore actions, ignore behavior. Yeah, we got to check bad behavior. But being honest about bad behavior doesn't mean we have to keep grudges and act in rage and become bitter, right? And use slanderous, cursing words and attacking people's character because they made a wrong choice. I want us to dedicate this day for love. I want us to dedicate this day to love. That you are making a decision personally to extend the grace that was extended to you. And that your response will be to love. Today, I want us to choose to love. We already talked about that being a choice. And I've already mentioned or leaned toward this, not the love that is a feeling. Like First Lady Taylor says, Eric call it, like FL say, not love if, not the conditional stuff, but the love that is a choice, right? Thank you, Miss Linda. Pastor Godbolt, that's right. Because his mercies are new. How is his mercies new every morning for us, but ours run out for other people? How do we embrace new stuff, but our stuff expire? See, this love that I want us to embrace, even if it's just for today, this love that I want us to embrace, it is not a feeling, but it is a choice. Listen to this. It is a love that is godly. That's what agape love is. Agape love is a love that is godly. It has nothing to do with a feeling, an emotion, a romantic love. Those are good, and hopefully you express those that are legal expressions. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That are legal expressions to those that you're legally able to express those kind of passionate, romantic kinds of love. Those are great. But I'm talking about a posture that is within you that says, I've got a godly kind of love. I got an agape. I got a love that extends from up there, not extends or is returned from beside me. That's what I want you to understand today. That's right, Jamal. You got to say that these days. And I believe that, listen, I believe that kind of love, that kind of posture is more doable. Is more doable. I believe it is easier achieved when looking at people through the lens of ourselves. Yep. When we look at people through the lens of ourselves. Let me tell you what, let me show you what Luke 31 says in the Amplified version. It says, treat others the same way you want them to treat you. That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you will have others do unto you. It says, treat others the same way you want them to treat you. Now, that's a reverse from how we do it. Let's be honest. You know how we do? We treat others the same way they treated us. Most of us. Let me sit there. Some of us still treating others like they treated us, but that's not what the Bible says. And the Bible says to treat others the same way you want to be treated. In other words, I initiate the expectation. Ooh, that's so good. Ooh, Lord. I initiate even as reciprocation or from reciprocation of a bad experience. I still initiate the right response. If somebody treats me wrong, I still model how to treat people right. And I don't wait on right to show right, but I show right thinking they see right and start to do right because of my model of right. Oh, my Lord. And I don't care who paints what kind of picture in your life. It is still your role as a believer, as somebody who was representing Christ, to always represent the right picture for folks to look at and model. So if people talking to you wrong, you should say, no, this is how you're supposed to talk to people. If people mishandle you, you're supposed to say, okay, no, hey, why'd you have to do me like that? But let me show you how you should handle people. But a lot of us want people to feel what we feel. We want them to hurt when we hurt. We want them to be broken because we broken. We want them to feel what it feels to do to somebody else because they just did it to you. That is not God's model. It might feel good for you in the moment, but it is not God's model. And so if you're going to be godly, it's got to be done by God's model. It is not his pattern. His pattern is to always present the right thing, especially when the wrong thing is in the atmosphere. Look at what Luke 31 says in the Message Bible. It goes on to bunch in some more scriptures going down to Luke 31, Luke 6 and 31 through 34. But Luke 6:31 in the Message Bible, that's saying it gives this idea that I just said about we initiate this expectation instead of reciprocate. what has been done to us, we initiate. Look at what it says there. It says, here is a simple rule of thumb for behavior. Listen to this. It says, here is a simple rule of thumb for behavior. Ask yourself, that's what I said, treat people through the lens of yourself. This is what it says. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you. Ask yourself, how would I love to be treated? Ask yourself, how would I love for people's response to be to me after I messed up and did something terrible? How would I want them to respond to me? If I really was sorry and I came to people and I really was pouring my heart out, how would I want them to respond to my vulnerability? And then he says, then grab the initiative and do it for them. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you. Grab or take the initiative and just do it for them. Not because they earned it, not because they deserved it, not because they're worthy of it, but because you desire it. And when you start to model what you desire in your actions toward other people, Lord have mercy, you set the tone for what's being done to be reciprocated. Because the Bible says, what you make happen for others, he will make happen for you. They that scatter will in turn be filled. They that water will be increased. It says, ask yourself what you want people to do for you, then grab the initiative and just do it for them. If you only love the lovable, this is a good word. If you only love the lovable, do you expect a pat on the back for that? It's easy. He says the run-of-the-mill sinners do that. Even sinners that are hateful love the lovable. It's easy to love people that's easy to love. He says, if you only help those who help you, do you expect a medal? Garden variety sinners do that. Anybody do that? If you only help those who help you, that's easy to know. That's that ain't rocket science. You ain't gonna get no medal for that. If you only give for what you hope to get out of it, do you think that's charity? Anybody who would be easy to give when you see what you're going to get back from it, that ain't charity. The stingiest of pawnbrokers do that. That's called a good investment. Charity says, I give not expecting nothing in return. Charity says, it might hurt me, but I see a need that I want to help. Lord, I need y'all to hear me. God love says, I love people that other people can look at and say they don't deserve it. That's when it's hard. Godly posture says, I called you last week and you didn't help me, and I knew you could have, but you didn't. But even though you asked me today, I'm going to help you to show you this is what you do for people you say you love. You don't go back and say, no, Remember last week I called you and asked you? You ain't had no love for me. You're going to have to find somebody else, boo. I can't do that. First point is this. I'm going to let y'all go so y'all can enjoy this holiday. Number one is this. Right actions are birthed through self-reflections or self-reflection. Right action. I didn't say the action that felt good. I said right actions are birthed through self-reflection. easiest way to get you to calm down in what you planning and plotting towards somebody else that has wronged you is to self-reflect. I'm talking about an honest self-reflection. The mature way to deal with people is not, I want you to hear this, and you may need a little more clarity, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm prepared to give it to you. But I want you to hear this statement. The mature way to deal with people is not from you, but through you. Let me say that again. The mature way to handle or to deal with people is not from you, but through you. I process and deal with people's behavior towards me, not from me, but I process it through me. Let me make that make sense. When we deal with people from us, we respond based on the effects of the effects that were felt. So when I deal with people from me, it's from my disposition. It's from my attitude. It's from my posture. It's from my emotion. So when I deal with people from me, it's from my anger. It's from my pain. It's from my emotions. And oftentimes when you deal with people from the posture of where you're at in that moment, you're going to retaliate based on the outward makeup of your flesh, because it is just responding to what it feels. Because your carnal nature's natural makeup and design is to attack, fight, defend, war against any threat. We are natural protectors in our flesh. So before we even think of the repercussions, before we even think of the spiritual casualties, before we even think of who it affects, your body, your flesh is not thinking of anything around them. It's not thinking of anybody around them. It's not thinking about what's going to happen the next 30 days after this decision. It's not thinking about the next 2 years after this decision. It's only responding to what it feels. That's why people can act amok sometimes in the worst places, because they didn't run something through them. They responded to how they felt or what happened to them. So their response was from them, not through them. That's why people can fight in church. I seen a video one time when some bad behavior. One of the men in the churches, I'm assuming it had to be something as serious as messing with their wife or something like that, but I don't know. But that man walked down to the front of the church on the front row while the preacher's preaching his sermon and started fighting. That's why you can be at a place where all your kids are around, you got young people around, and then two adults go at each other and cussing and fussing and maybe fighting and scrapping and doing all this other stuff, because you totally forget your surroundings, because your body has just responded to the breach. That's why people can say, I don't care no more. Well, when they channel it through them, they care. But if you just respond from what happened to you, come on, somebody, your body will put you in positions that your spirit gonna have to deal with later. You showing out at the school, you in the middle of food line. and we can blank out and don't care where we are. No, we're going to handle this now on site. Don't matter. I don't care. I can lose my job. I can get fired. It don't matter. I'm that. Because we're responding from us. But when we deal with people through us, we approach our response through the lens, hear me, through the lens of our faults and our tendencies. Are y'all here? Instagram, they got sleep on me. I guess I done made y'all mad. I ain't see no comments, no likes, no. It's okay. Y'all can listen. You might be working, doing something else. When we do it through us, we do it through our lens. We do it through our imperfections. Because when something is done to us, it's like, how could that possibly? How could they? It just seemed like it was so egregious. Until you start thinking through your lens of your imperfections, and it's almost like it's brought back to your remembrance. When you got angry that one time, what did you do that was so out of pocket? Not to compare, but to say, you know what? We all got things that we are working on, and while I need to them to understand that this was not the right action, it's still got to be dipped in an agape love. Because when we look at through those lenses and through those tendencies, we realize that we have the same tendencies or similar tendencies to do what has been done to us. I ain't never done nothing like that to somebody else. Okay, maybe not to that extreme, but there are some similar tendencies. And if you hadn't done that indeed, we had some similar thoughts. So similar thoughts give similar potential. I know, Dre. I'm just messing. I figured. See, y'all Instagram. That's my sedity crowd. That's my technology. That's my younger folk who multitask and do stuff. And yeah, they probably listening to me while they doing 2 other 3 things. I ain't mad at you. I just like a little love from you every now and then. That's all. We remind ourselves it used to be us in some form or fashion. And we have, okay, let me just go here. I know I don't want to, this is Valentine's. This is a day of love, but this is also a day of honesty. Real love ain't real if it ain't honest. Let's be honest. I mean, we hate to be lied to, but some of us, whether we thought we had to, needed to, or just like to until we got saved or God fixed us, all of us are lied before. So yeah, a lie hurts to hear, but don't act like a lie is not, you can't recover from it, like you can't move on because somebody lied to you. You are an example that people can't change, that you don't have to just lie just to lie. But when God really gets in your heart, there can be different behavior. So if you looking at yourself as an example that they can come out, then don't make what they do finite to you. Well, they didn't lie to me. I'm done with them. I can't have no kind of conversation with no liar. Well, how many people have been having a relationship with you? Well, I ain't lie. I just didn't tell the whole truth. Lie? Well, I didn't want them to know the truth, because if they knew that, it would have gotten worse. So I was protecting them when I lied. So you putting a nice ribbon on your lie? We have all lost our temper and said some things we didn't mean. All of us said words we wish we could have got back. We have all overreacted before and realized when you calm down, I did do the most. That was too much. I was a little emotional. I probably should have thought about that before I said that or did that. Yeah. Ooh, I got one. We have all been envious before when seeing someone else succeed. Even if it was internal and nobody knew it. And let me tell you something. Not all of those feelings are hating. Sometimes it ain't hating on the other person when you're caught off guard by something great happening out of nowhere for them, and it's been something that you've been praying for. Some of us got to really process through and deal with that. Like, I'm happy that you got it. I really am. I really do. Can I be real? Can I be real and free some of y'all by telling you ain't the only one that thought like that? It's okay to sometimes be real and say, you know what? I got to process through this thing because I want to be happier for you than I'm able to be right now. It's not because I don't want you to be successful, but I want really bad what just happened to you. And so I'm going through a process of saying, what is in me that's causing it not to happen for me? Why is it my process being so delayed and it's happening for you so quickly? And so sometimes we got to deal with that. We got to let God minister to that. He got to reassure us that our process is still on track. And then we can get a better release to be happy for you. And it's not always hatred. Sometimes your happiness reminds us, or your success reminds us of how stagnant and stuck we are. Come on. Sometimes you moving the needle makes us see our needle is still stuck, and we got to deal with that. And it ain't a personal attack to you. It's really a disappointing reflection toward us. But sometimes when we resist this, oh, you hate, you watch, and I even said it before, watch you get excited, watch you smile. But sometimes we got to learn, even though they didn't respond. Have you ever shared some excitement with somebody that you thought would just go over the top with you? And when you shared it and they were kind of subtle about their congratulations, you like, dang, what happened? I thought you would be happy for me. And then you start to kind of shift in how you looked at them. So I thought that was my friend. She kind of fake. She kind of don't want me to be successful. But sometimes when we're emotionally intelligent and when we mature and we've been through that before with somebody else, sometimes that initial response will spark a meaningful conversation that will help y'all's relationship get deeper when you can get past the ego of wanting to be celebrated so tough and really deal with the fact that why my real friend ain't get that happy for me. What's going on with you? Are you okay? Maybe it's because you really dig down and really realize we both wanted this. And I probably needed to take in consideration that how she or he might feel seeing me get it before them. You see what I'm saying? If we look at stuff through us, sometimes it's easier to take hits that would send us in a spiral. But now, because we got intelligence about and we got maturity about a thing, we don't let one thing cause us to overreact. Okay, here's another one. You struggling with people who don't trust you? Struggling with people you feel like you always got to prove yourself? Guess what? We have lost trust in people before. We realize how hard it is to get it back. But we want to be, when we do it, I said, I'm sorry, dog. Let's move on. Let's be over it. I ain't going to sit here and keep talking about it and keep telling you I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry yesterday. But when somebody hurt you, you mad for 2 months. Or you might be over it, but you quiet. They got to earn it back. Or now you looking harder to make sure, but you justified because of your breach. But when you do it to somebody else, you want them to get over it quickly. Come on. When we look through us, it makes it easier for us to process stuff. When you look through you, you remind yourself of how hard it wounded you and how much it hurt you and broke you. And it reminds you that I must have really hurt them and broke them. No matter how much I knew I didn't mean it, no matter how much I knew they should have got over it because I got through it, the reality is when I look through me, I find a sensitivity to give grace. Here's what we done before. We have held a grudge for too long before. See what I'm saying is I'm not trying to remind you of wrong days in your life or things that, but I do want you to understand. I do want us to understand. If we can just remember that some of the things we are experiencing used to be us, we could love easier. Because the text says, forgiving one another just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Number 2, I'm moving. I'm out of time. I know time well spent, but I'm moving. Number 2, love is the only way to be pleasing to God. Only way. Let me sip on that. Galatians 5:14 says this, for all the law, every commandment, all the law, everything God asks, everything God requires, everything God loves, everything God demands, everything that is in covenant with him, all the law is fulfilled in one word. Even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. That's the only thing that he can see and be pleased. And it reminds him and reflects him of himself. You cannot fulfill the law without it. You cannot fulfill his command without it. You cannot fulfill his covenant without it. Your works won't do it. Your sacrifice won't do it. Come on, somebody. Your showing up and being a part of an auxiliary won't do it. Your religion won't do it. Oh, I'm coming for 20 of you. Your gift won't do it. I don't care. You might be gifted to sing, gifted to preach, gifted to administrate, gifted to prophesy. You might be gifted to lay hands. You might be gifted to interpret dreams. You might be gifted. All these gifts. Come on. You can be the most gifted people in the world, but not be pleasing. If you ain't got love for your brother, how can you say you love a God that you ain't never seen, but you hate your brother that you see every day? That is the fulfillment of the law. That no matter how I'm breached, I got to figure out a way to get back to loving. I don't care how much I hurt. I got to figure out to get back the way to treat people still with gracious regard. I got to get back to it, even if I can't do it immediately. I cannot stay in contempt with people. I cannot stay, come on somebody, in a hatred grudge with people. I got to figure out a way to get myself emotionally and physically in shape to get back to loving them genuinely in spite of what they did. My works won't do it. My religion won't do it. My shout and dance won't do it. My gift won't do it. The only thing that identifies me with God is love. Number 3, and I'm going to let you go. And here's what I want you to take with you today. Because a lot of us right now is listening to what I'm saying and saying, man, this is so hard. Love is so hard. This is such a hard transition. This is going to be so hard to do. Let me give you another perspective. No, love ain't hard. Let me tell you something. Love is such a blessed response. Love is such a blessing. Come on now, choose. I need you to get your posture wrong. It's such a blessing to mature enough to still just give love. It is such a blessed response. Love is such a safe response. When you can just be a blessing with love, that means you are secure in God. That means you know God's got you. You know God is for you. And even though people mishandle you, you can never be mishandled. Even though people try to manipulate you, you can never be manipulated. Even though people try to set you up, you got to know that you'll never be able to be set up. Because what the enemy meant for evil, God can turn it around for my good. So no matter whatever happens to me, my posture is still safety. And because my posture is safety, I feel secure and safe enough to still be a blessing. Oh my God. I can still be a blessing and it won't cost me nothing. I can still be a blessing and it won't hurt what God is doing in my life. I can still be a blessing. He can still deal with you what he needs to do with you to get you together. But it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's such a blessed response. You got to know that loving people is such a blessing to be able to do in spite of how they treat you. Come on, somebody. It is such a beautiful, blessed display or a blessed response. It is such a beautiful picture when it's painted from a pure place. And this, I want you guys to be Picassos of these portraits of love that you just are blessed enough to be a blessing with. Ephesians 2:4-2 says, always be humble and gentle, be patient with each other, making an allowance for each other's faults because of your love. Come on, somebody. I can make an allowance. I know you messed up, but it ain't the end of the world. We're going to be all right. I hear you. Come on, quit beating yourself up. I'm going to be okay. I know you didn't know, but come on, let's go. We're going to be all right. We're going to get this together. Come on. It is such a blessing to be able to love instead of hating and manipulating people and hurting people and embarrassing people in public and checking people in front of the people. There's a way to even correct. Come on, somebody. You got to be mindful of how you're making people look. And you may be thinking that you're making yourself look in authority and correcting. No, man. I don't have to do this in front of everybody to belittle who you are. Come on, I choose to be a blessing. If we got to come to the side and have a conversation, if I need to talk to you or call you about something you said, there's still a way I can do it. Come on, somebody. But at the end of the day, if I got an error, I'm going to err on the side of love, not disrespect. If I got an error, if I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong for loving you too much, for giving you too much leeway, because God will get into that kind of decision. Love covers. You ain't got to worry about exposing. God does that. He's the judge. If God get tired of talking and they doing too much damage, God will do the exposing. Love covers. Love casts out fear. Love draws. It was loving kindness have I drawn you. But most of all, love is God. It's God. It's amazing how many people want to follow God, but they're comfortable being ungodly. It's God. Romans 12 and 18. And I'm closing. If possible, this is what I pray for you today. Let's start with today. And if this leads on to the end of the week, that's great. If it goes on to the end of the month, that's beautiful. And if it goes on to the end of the year, that's amazing. And if this becomes your life posture, oh, I would be so happy. But let's start with today. Let's try to live by Romans 12 and 18. It says, if possible, so far as it depends on you, or another translation said, as it relates to you, live peaceably with all. That means you can't control what nobody else do. You can't control what nobody else say. You can't control what nobody else is thinking. You can't control what nobody else is plotting. You can't control what nobody. But as it pertains to you, if it depends on you, let you be found living peaceably with all. If possible, if it falls in your lap, if it depends on you, let this be your decision. In the Message Bible, that same text says this: don't hit back, but discover beauty in everyone. And if you've got it in you, get along with everybody. Just because they don't like you don't mean you don't have to not like them back. Get along with everybody. Listen to me. Don't insist on getting even. That's not for you to do. I just said it, but here's the scripture that backs up what I just said. I'll do the judging, says God. I'll take care of it. You just love. And here's what I want to leave you with. Don't let anybody make you ungodly. Let me say that one more time. Don't let anybody make you ungodly. That's my word for you today. I love you with the love of the Lord. Go be the best you can be. And don't worry about how people are treating and what their response will be. I promise you, you serve a God that's big enough and he's willing to take care of every battle you think you got to fight. All he wants you to do is to be gracious, to be generous, to be respectful, to show love. He's got you from there. He can take it from there. He can handle it from there. Just make sure that is your posture. If at all possible, if it depends on you, live peaceably. I love you. That's your word today. The fact that you're watching me, the fact that you're looking at me is a sign that God is not finished with you yet. You still got some work to do. And with every day comes a new mercy. With every day comes a new grace. Take what he's already given you and tackle what is in front of you. He's already won, so you always win. Don't let anything today take your win from you. Go win your day. Winners win. That's who you are. So go be who you are. Do what you do. Happy Valentine's Day. Love on somebody today. Love on them hard too. And I'll see you in the morning. Peace.